Welcome to my personal guidance of how to increase your FPS in any video game. If you're not interested in any part of my guidance, save your time. I'm going to leave all subject timings in this video description. I'm also going to include all download links, any app in case if you need it. If you have any questions or concerns, you are always welcome to leave the comment down below. In this guidance, I will cover up basics such as GPU and power plant settings, how to make and add custom resolutions such as 3K resolution, DLSS Swapper, program for swapping your NVIDIA DLSS files, or FSR AMD game files for resolution upscaling features. I'm also going to include basic GPU overclocking by using MSI Afterburner, and how to clean up your PC to decrease your overall hardware temperatures, for increasing better capabilities for overclocking features and increase overall performance. Optional, we will also discuss features such as frame generation by using Lossless Scaling app that you can get in the Steam store for around $7. Go to the left bottom corner and type in search bar power and select choose a power plant. And right down below, choose high performance mode. If you have Windows 11, the only difference is you have to select show more options. And then you can select NVIDIA control panel. If you have GeForce GPU, click right mouse button and select NVIDIA control panel. In 3D settings section, select adjust image settings, and then select use the advanced 3D image settings, apply, and then select take me there. Scroll down to texture filtering and select from quality to high performance. Don't worry, even at 4K resolution, you will not see any difference. Go back to NVIDIA control panel and select Customize. Make sure you have a check mark at Enable Resolutions Not Exposed by the display. Go ahead and create custom resolution. This is for people who has 4K and 2K monitors, but they are looking for custom alternative options for settings resolution, especially when DLSS or any upscaling feature is not available. However, you can combine these all settings together if you like for your own taste. Type in your desirable resolution for testing and click on Test. If you achieve desirable results and everything working how it's planned, make sure you set that resolution by pressing yes. And now you can scroll all the way up in the resolution section. That's how you can find all custom resolutions in case if you need it. But we are not doing these resolutions for desktop tasks, but mainly for gaming. Because after adding these all resolutions, these options will be available in video games. I'm going to leave suggested resolutions in my video description, including resolutions between 1K and 2K for 2K monitors as well. As you can see, this is my custom made 3K resolution. What is cool, you can still use upscaling features such as DLS. Okay, this is very simple. Open your DLSS Swapper. Go to your game library. Select the game supported for upscaling. Over here, it's showing your current version of DLSS that the game has. Click on that, and now you can select any version you want. If you don't have it, just download it by pressing any arrows on the side and just swap it. By the way, you have option to reverse your settings. I want to clarify that swapping DLSS files doesn't always guarantee you improved performance, and in some cases, it might even reduce it. However, I can confidently say it will definitely enhance picture quality. The key is finding the sweet spot, as using an older DLSS version can sometimes deliver both benefits, such as better visuals and performance, depending on your current hardware and the game. Additionally, using a DLSS swapper in competitive games carries a small risk of being flagged by anti-cheat systems, which might mistakenly ban you. That being said, I haven't come across many reports of actual bans related to this. Personally, I've used DLSS swapping with games like Red Dead Redemption 2, Remnant 2, Cyberpunk, and even Rust, and worked pretty well. For instance, with Rust, where the default DLS file is quite outdated, I noticed a significant improvement in image quality. However, it came at the cost of substantial FPS drop. If you ran into performance issues and you want to reverse your settings, you have always that option in DLSS Swapper. And if the problem still persists, that's what you're gonna do. Go to your Steam library. Go ahead and select your game. Click right mouse button and select Properties. Go down and select Install Files. And click on Verify Integrity of the game files. This is what you do instead of re-downloading entire game. The Steam gonna detect the wrong files and re-downloading. After the whole thing is done, you can go ahead and play your game. Let's talk about the overclocking. The first section, voltage, don't worry about it. Majority of the time is unnecessary. Also, you don't want to potentially damage or overheat your GPU, because if you play with other settings, such as clock speed, you can't really damage your GPU. The only thing what you can face it is instability until you adjust your overclocking properly. Now for the easy starter overclock, go to the clock section. Put your core clock at 100. The memory clock put at 500. This is your starting point. If you run into any issues, try first decrease the core clock, because memory clock is more important if you want to see any difference FPS wise. So for example, let's say you got to the point where memory clock is set to 900 and your core clock is set at 160 and you're running into issues. Try readjust this first by decreasing the core clock to 140. If the problems still occur, try change to 120 before you will start decreasing memory clocks. Just remember, every GPU is different, and my GPU is not really good for overclocking without facing instabilities such as screen freezing, GPU stutters, or system crashing. So in my case, I like to set my core clock at 120 and memory clock at 800. I'm getting from 5 to 10 additional frames at 4K gaming most of the time. Remember, by overclocking your GPU, the temperatures will increase a little bit. So let's set the custom GPU fan settings to decrease that problem. First, make sure you increase your power limit to maximum. In my case, it's 140. Just keep in mind, as long as you move the power limit bar, the temperature limit bar increasing as well. But don't worry, that doesn't mean your GPU will run on these temperatures. And now, go to the left bottom corner and select Settings. Go on the top left corner and select Category Fan. Make sure you check mark Enable User-Defined Software Automatic Fan Control. On the bottom, it's showing you the temperatures. On the left side, it's showing you the percentage of the fan speed during specific temperatures. If you select any of these square buttons, it's giving you that type of information. You can readjust these settings by moving these squares horizontally or vertically. You can even give additional speed points if you like by clicking the left mouse button on the line. You can leave the first 3 squares buttons because there's no reason to enforce your fan running at higher frequencies if your GPU idling at lower temperatures. Our goal is to remain the same or similar temperatures before you even started your entire overclocking. So let's start from adding the speed point. We're gonna set at 74. And it's gonna run 75%. And instead of 90 Celsius, we're gonna readjust this to 78. That's gonna be our maximum temperature. 72. Fan speed is at 75. And when you're done, make sure you click apply. Also make sure when you're done with your fan settings, you can select user defined. That's your custom fan speed profile. On the right side, that's your profiles. So any settings what you do, you can save it for later. You can load it up anytime. So these settings doesn't have to be permanent. Before you save profile, I suggest you to take a screenshot of your settings in case if your profile won't save. So the way how it works, let's say you have your settings already. First, make sure you click apply, then save it. Now you see on the right side, these numbers are flashing. That's your profiles. So you can choose any profile you want. Let's say number 5. Now when you go back to the 1 and 5, your profile is saved. So anytime you want to load it up your profile before gaming, just hit that mark and you're done. If you want reverse the default settings, same thing. Similar thing. Select reset and you're done. Simple as that. First of all, make sure you get dual function vacuum with the blower, with the tiny hose extension attachment. You can start from vacuuming all the way around. If you have any filters, you can pull out, wash it off, or just vacuum it. But if you wash it though, make sure the filters are completely dry before you put it back in your computer. The reason why we are vacuuming the computer is to lower overall temperatures inside your case. When you're done vacuuming from outside, you can go ahead, open your case. And you can start from pulling out your GPU. If you're struggling with pulling out your GPU, remember, you have a little metal ledge right underneath, which you have to pull it down before you try remove it. If your CPU cooler, just like mine, it has the size of a refrigerator and you're running out of the space, I recommend you using something like a flat screwdriver. It definitely makes this job easier. When you're done, I recommend you take your PC outside your room because it will get messy. And go ahead and switch from vacuum mode to blower mode by relocating the hose. using blower work the way around. Usually, I would recommend you to remove the entire CPU cooler and scrape it out all cooling paste and apply the new cooling paste as well, because otherwise you're gonna burn your CPU. I'm not gonna do this right now because I reapplied the cooling paste a year ago and not necessary in my case. Like you see, I have a huge cooler on my CPU. I don't have to do that. But you will do that only in case if you really like your CPU running on extremely high temperatures. Otherwise, like you don't have to do that. It's optional. You can clearly see there's a lot of dust still on the blades. It's not coming off. So what you can do, you can try partially scrape it off, also with a flat screwdriver or something similar at this point. Now again, instead of using the blower, you can a little bit vacuum it, leftovers all the way around. Then switch again to blower. You can go back to back with that. I recommend you get some isopropyl alcohol. Probably you don't want to go below 70% because you want to make sure it's gonna dry out fast rather than leaving the moisture in your PC case. Get some cotton swabs, spray on it. Simple as that. Most likely you're not gonna be able to remove the entire dust, but your goal is to remove at least 70% of the dust, I would say. And don't forget clean up your GPU. Same thing by using the vacuum and blower. You could probably use the alcohol as well, but this is not necessary, or if you're gonna do so, make sure the GPU is completely dry. You can either leave it at your desk inside your home for an hour, then you're like 100% sure it's dry. Just don't use too much alcohol. Then go ahead and use the blower. In case if you wonder, this is before and after comparison. Just look at it. Look like someone did a backflip and shit on it. And that's the after cleaning results. Much better, isn't it? So let's start from a new testing profile. Scaling, you always keep that off. Frame generation, always select the highest one. The mode, when it's fixed, it's like the way how it works is, let's say you got 60 frames per second, I'm gonna double up your frames to 120, triple up, get my point. By default, it's set on 2. You change this to adaptive mode, you're gonna set the target of 144 FPS. So that's your maximum refresh rate of monitor. The flow scale is, if you play on Full HD, keep this always on maximum. If you play on 2K, I recommend you go from 60 to 80 range. And if you play on 4K from 40 to 60, I recommend you keep that at 40. The capture, if you playing on Windows 10 or below, you set this on DXGI. If you play on Windows 11, you set this on WGC. The usual the target is set on 1. But to reduce your latency, set this on 0. If your GPU is struggling, you can set this back on 1 or even 2 as the maximum value. Honestly, I haven't played with these options yet. Now, rendering. Sync mode. Some people like play the VSync on, some people not. All about preferences. Max frame latency. For some reason, most of people like to set this on 10. We have HDR monitor, make sure you select on. For scaling, so you have a old video game, doesn't support any app scaling, you can enforce with that application. The type for app scaling, I'll recommend you FSR from AMD. The mode you select custom. So that factor is the quality. So when you set 1.3, this is the very high quality. If you select this to 2.0, this is the lowest quality, but increasing the performance. And make sure you click on resize before scaling. What you need to do to have best possible experience, you need to set cap on your FPS. Let's say your game running at 57 FPS. In that case, I would recommend you set FPS cap at 50 because your GPU needs a little bit of headroom. By setting FPS at 50, the game will run at 100 generated frames. Go back to NVIDIA control panel and select Manage 3D Settings. And this time, instead of going to Global Settings, we are going to Program Settings. And go ahead and select your game. In my case, that's going to be the Cyberpunk. Scroll down and select Max Frame Rate. Select On and type in desirable frame rate. And click Apply. Go to your Steam library and open Lossless Scaling. Select your profile. Since I set 50 frames in NVIDIA settings, our target going to be 100. Just remember, Lossless Scaling doesn't work if your game display settings are set on full screen. So make sure you change that to window borderless or window mode. It's 2 ways to turn on frame generation feature. The first and easy way is to hold it down, Ctrl, Alt, and S key buttons at the same time. If it doesn't work, the second way is by minimize the screen to the desktop and click on Scale. You are going to see a 5-second countdown timer to go back to your game. On the top left corner of your screen, you're supposed to see 2 counters. On the left, that's your real FPS. On the right, it's showing you generated frames. That's it for today. I hope you learned something cool from this guidance. Keep rocking it. Now see you in the next video.